Hello, and welcoming already fell off.
Yeah,
Ah,
buddy.
we didn't even get out of the gate. Welcome to Marketing Insight
Awesome, man.
from Murie Design Group. I am Mac Christian, and this is James Albert.
Hello, and we have a
Had
special
a-
guest today.
So I just jumped right all over you on that one. What
I don't.
I don't want it. No, fine. This is Paul Mangum, the inventor of the InstaPrivy and one of our favorite clients to work with here at Murie. Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself today.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I am the founder of InstaPrivy LLC. We're a portable toilet kit, coolest portable toilet kit ever, and
In the world.
in the world,
In the world.
undoubtedly in the world. And I was fortunate enough to bump into James and Mac at the SHOT Show, and what a blessing that has been. And I mean that genuinely. Super guys that really helped me get this product off the ground. But I don't want to hand it back to you, Mac.
Well, no, so that's kind of the fun part about it is so the the product InstaPrivy is something that James and I encountered at SHOT Show in that was 2019, and we'd gone through. I'd been involved in the outdoor industry and everything in the firearms industry for a while and doing marketing for it, and it was James's first experience of something like this. So first of all, it's a spectacle that's pretty hard.
Overwhelming is a not. You can't even describe it. It was beyond, and that was one of the refreshing parts about it. Was with amidst all this stuff, we come across a toilet seat in the middle of the whole showroom. And we're asked by Paul to have a seat and test it out. And I'm thinking to myself, do you really want me to test this out? Okay. I didn't take it to the full test, but it was a lot of fun. And it also helped me understand that it could support my weight and how great it was by actually sitting into it. I do think the experience is something that not everyone gets to experience too. So.
Oh yeah, well, that was one where we it was kind of a chuckle off at first, because this is an outdoors and mostly firearms kind of show, and you see with everything that you can imagine that you could possibly see there, including like helicopters cut in half with chain guns hanging off the side of them, there's a toilet, and we were like, and it was funny, and then I started thinking about it. I had experience in college being a raft guide, and I've been an outdoorsman my entire life, and portable toilets are always a thing, and a lot of things like, for instance, raft guiding and everything, you have to set up a tent, and the toilet's a big cumbersome unit. And I started thinking about it like, oh, I think this is actually kind of a disruptive thing. And I started walking through that with James, and then James started looking into it, and we were both a little surprised there was nothing really in that area competitive in that area is what I'm trying to say. There's not really a product like it. And so then it's hard because cold calling anybody is always just dicey, right? Like nobody wants to get called with somebody selling them anything. But we wanted to learn more about what the situation was with Paul. And so I did reach out. I better call Paul, and called Paul, and lucky enough that he was able to talk and let us kind of know what was going on. And the initial conversation wasn't really a push. It was really just to learn about what he was doing. But Paul, you jumped right on it and let me know, like, hey, I need some marketing, man.
Well, that's true. I remember that first call. I was like very very cautious because I was like, yeah, because I do get a lot of calls all the time. But the more I talk to you guys, or to you, Mac, at that time, because I remembered you from the show, and it was quite a surprise. It was a nice surprise, but the more we talked, the more I could tell that you guys were just genuine. I just wanted to really engage with me on this product. And something, if you don't mind, I did a terrible job describing my product. You gave me the window, and I hosed it. If you don't mind taking a mulligan. So what we're talking about with the InstaPrivy, I said it was the coolest portable toilet kit ever, but I didn't really describe it. What it is, hopefully you'll see it in the article, but it's a complete kit that weighs just 7 pounds that has everything you need to go to the bathroom just about anywhere. You got the toilet chair, you got a shelter that goes over you, and a shovel, waste bags, toilet paper, hand sanitizer. It's a complete kit. And the whole thing is just so compact, it goes on your back or in your vehicle. And that's what I think you guys saw. And it's nice because when people get it, they really get it and they appreciate it because they've been there, done that, and had an issue or whatever. But yeah, so it was going back to your call. It was a good day for me because after our conversation, I was like, wow, this is what I really need.
He let us know that he didn't have any marketing support, just exactly like Paul said. And so James and I kind of started talking about it, like, maybe we should talk to this guy. Like, this actually looks pretty interesting. And then, of course, you kind of run wild with the marketing possibilities. Like, can you imagine the kind of things we could do with a video for something like this? And
the more and more I kept thinking about it, I was like, well, I have girls, and we've ran into this problem many times, either hiking or whatever else. And I was going, well, this would be perfect. So you know that there's so many others out there which it really takes each individual putting into their own place. Oh, I'm a truck driver, I could use it here. Oh, hunting would be great for this. Oh, military. So we knew that it had the potential. It just came down to how do we get it in front of people.
Oh yeah, well, the first thing I thought of was it was maybe a couple weeks before we went to the show that we're driving along, and we were not near a restroom, and my son, of course, had not gone, and you get that, like, it's not just like, hey guys, it's dad, like it's like that frantic, get me out of the car right now, something bad is gonna happen. And so I'm looking at the product like, oh man, that would go right under the seat. This is cool. So the potential was there, and it sounded like the need was there to talk to somebody like us. It was mostly just building that comfort level, because especially in the outdoors industry, like, it's really cagey to talk to somebody as a marketing team, because and maybe just in general, we run into this stuff a lot. When you talk to somebody new and you're like, hey, I'd like to discuss working with you, it always comes across the same, like, what are you trying to sell me? And it's, our approach is always based more on like, well, what do you need? I'm not going to throw a widget at you and tell you to buy it unless I know that you need it. So it was mostly developing that comfort of, I'm always joking with people, like, it's not like you're going to trip, fall, and just hand me $3,000 or something like that. It's got to be an intelligent conversation and a need addressed. I can't exactly take you on stuff. So we had to like talk to Paul and we sent you a bunch of examples and just kind of, a lot of it was just talking about how the company was built. And we talked about equity investors and like angel investors and stuff like that. And from what, Paul, you didn't want to lose control of the InstaPrivy or kind of your decision-making authority. And through that, we kind of arrived at crowdfunding, and it was something that you had been involved with, but I think you were a little jaded against it, or you want to make sure it got done right was essentially where we were at. And that was one where James jumped in. He had more knowledge than I did at the time of crowdfunding, and he'd done it a few times, and that's where that was really helpful. But it was mostly just a need.
We switched it too. Paul had experience with Kickstarter and we switched to Indiegogo, so it was new to him on that one. But I think it was a good switch.
Yeah, it was. And initially when you guys brought that up about the Indiegogo, I was like, well, I did a Kickstarter, and you're like, so. But then as I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Why not use this other platform and go for it with a team that has the creativity and the marketing skills and that you guys clearly did. And that was, the more I thought about it, I was like, man, if these guys are crazy enough to do this with me, I'm all over it. And it was a beautiful thing, man. I know we'll get into that, but it was really exciting for an entrepreneur like myself who struggled through two Kickstarters. First one failed, like I said, and then the second one we barely scraped by. But then to team with your company and do it right, and not just do it right, but do it to an amazing level, as far as the marketing, it was cool. It was like a dream come true. Honestly.
We appreciate that.
Oh yeah. Well, it was, I mean, it would not be stretching it to say that it was kind of a dream come true for our situation too, because coming in the way that we came in, where budget's an issue, and we were kind of like, all right, so here's the deal. We're going to play and we're going to run with the marketing. You're going to have final approval, but anytime you get an opportunity to be like, it was almost the limit of the budget almost created more of an environment of being creative, I guess.
I agree.
Yeah. It let us just kind of,
or it made it, because of that problem of the money, maybe didn't have necessarily the funding dollars up front, because that's what the goal of the funding was, the crowdfunding. So it was kind of it definitely kept us more creative. I think, not to say that we don't work hard on other ones, but it made it go, well, there was less impact because there wasn't something before, so we could really kind of just create something from scratch, and that was really nice and enjoyable on our side.
But it was wild because we had, Paul was flying in and we had some ideas on videos, but then it was total bootstrap, right? Like we didn't know if locations that we had scouted before would be available when Paul got there, because this was just like, we need to find somewhere that we don't have to pay for, that we can plop down and throw video cameras up and make a movie. And so, and that's where we ended up driving up into the mountains, like Idaho City, to see if something there would work. We were driving along with handheld cameras, like, hey, let's hop out of the car here. I got an idea. And we just shot it on the spot. Stuff like that it was a really kind of a creative atmosphere. It was really fun.
I go back to thinking about how we were right next to the road when we finally did, and we had to space it out from when the stoplight would let cars through and the noise level on the cars.
That's right. I forgot all about that. Yeah, so we shot our main video. The high quality video that we had was in town, and we had to time the shoots with the traffic lights.
Yeah, but okay, and our primary video, the one with you and your lovely wife Mac, that were kind enough to be the professional actors, and on that, just one humorous note, we had somebody looked at it, watched the video, and they're like, do you know these actors? Like, these professional actors? How did you get them? So you guys nailed it. But
they did a great job. Yes, they did a great job. You did, Matt.
Yeah, you really did.
She was on this call, so we can say thank you, Rachel. You did a great job.
Yeah, Rachel.
The best part about that is I usually end up being somebody that talks to people a lot, and I really did not want to do the video. And when it got presented to my wife, she was fired up. She was so into it, and she ended up killing it. And she's like, my wife is a classic introvert. She doesn't want to be around people, like big crowds, talking in front of people. It's something that's like not up her alley. But this thing, she was just gunning for it, and she killed it on the acting, and I was just kind of the backup.
That's awesome. Well, thank you to both you and Rachel. That was just so awesome. But and you're world famous now, because this has been seen millions of times all over the world.
That was the funniest part, was making my wife world famous for a toilet commercial was the best part of all this.
You're both phenomenal.
But I mean, and that wasn't some of the key things from this are like, so James made contact with Cheddar, and that was huge because that's what really kickstarted the viral part of it. And then we ran the ad side of everything, where we were selecting various crowds that were, we were running A/B tests, but we were doing it with like $32 per week on different little spots. Just
completely targeted. You guys did a great job on targeting the right demographic for this product.
Yeah.
We had, I think it was soccer moms ended up one of the classification of soccer moms between the ages of 30 and 60 years old ended up being one of the biggest like conversion ratios that we had, which was one we didn't expect. So it was a good thing we ran testing.
Also, the European interest was not expected either.
Oh yeah, that blew up. Yeah. To include, so one of the things that I wanted to mention here is we went in there with the idea of the crowdfunding, the Indiegogo, and that was our goal. And you nailed it. You wanted to get a viral video. You nailed it, not just with one, but with two. And the other ones did okay too. But the top two videos that you guys did was, of course, the one in the park. But the one, Mac, when you just pulled over to the side of the road, said, "I got an idea." And you ran up the hill repeatedly, which I would have had a heart attack. I mean, this guy's running up the hill doing this live, almost a live action, right? But and, Mac just had this idea of, hey, let's do, like, you really got to go and it's in the wild and you're in an area where you need an InstaPrivy. And that video alone, I mean, you guys know the numbers. It's really cool that you guys have tracked all this stuff. But a lot of them that I've seen, that video is done so really well. And that was just something that was spontaneous that you rocked it. I mean, that was really fun. To see that it connected so well with such a large part of the audience that we were trying to get to.
Well, and even though it was kind of impromptu, we did have about a dozen or half a dozen different styles we were thinking of up front. And we thought we could get some here, some that way. And I know that, hopefully a little bit came. I know that one too was one where it was like, let's have some fun with the GoPro, but it was also one where we had talked about like the urgency of needing it. And I love Mac's sound effects, and that one is probably my favorite.
and I don't want to take away from the preparation. To me, it was more impromptu, but that was, so many fun comments about that, but, and the whole thing, the whole reaction. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention was we got started with the crowdfunding idea, but what I was not expecting was to be contacted by so many media agencies around the world. I mean, we had right away, there was a news station in the UK that ran, showed the video and all kinds of stuff and wanted to do an interview. LA, and then there was a kind of a show, Hot or Not, that was in Germany. They wanted to do something right away, and we're still going to probably do that next season. But
there was a Fox News as well, right?
Yeah, and Fox News, several different. It went all over on Fox News. What do you call those guys? As Seen on TV. Two different companies claiming to be As Seen on TV contacted me and were like, "Hey, this is going to go great. We want to do this," and other shows. But I was not expecting that. That was a huge bonus to what the crowdfunding campaign itself, because that's just more media that spawned from the creativity that you guys put together. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was where kind of putting ideas into practice was a fun part, because like James said, we had, I wouldn't call it a plan per se, but we had spitballed a lot of ideas on the board. Like, hey, what if we portray urgency, and how would we portray urgency? And then, well, what about, this parody kind of thing? Because we need, if we want to pick up shareability, we probably want to target humor, and and the product toilets lend themselves well to humor. It just does. And so we played off of that. And that's where it was fly by night, right? We were driving along and, oh, this looks like a good clearing. Let's do a video here. And it ran out like that because we only had a week with Paul. And there was also the fact that we wanted to get your input. We needed product photography in that week. We needed the videotape interviews with Paul. And that was one where we set that up in our office and just kind of, we filmed all this stuff, and at the end of it, we just have this coloring book of like where we could just pull different things from it to create new videos and kind of new content. And James even had a scrapbook video that he came up with halfway through the campaign that we ran with, and we were just, a lot of it was just throwing stuff at the board because we did kind of have, it was the constraints that inspired the creativity, right? Like, we didn't have a ton of budget to work with, and it was like, cool, what's something I can throw together in the next little bit that will, what can I maximize what I put into this in terms of getting, funding for the product. And it was cool because we got to put a lot of our beliefs and practices into play, and they worked out. And that was the neatest part about it. And it was the level of trust that Paul had in us for that, which was like, I mean, you got a livelihood and money and your product and all that. Like, I can't be thankful enough for the amount of faith that you had in us two slouches. So that was very cool.
Not only was that a very productive week, it was a fun week to spend time with you guys and see the creativity that went into my project, to my product, and you just kind of see it starting to come to life. And then and all the things that came, not only did you do the videos, you did the graphics and you did all that stuff. And I'll tell you, there was a guy that I ran into at the SHOT Show, and he was like, he saw all this stuff and he was like, wow, you've come a long way. And that's thanks to you guys, because now he was like, wow, you're legit now. and that's a big part of it. People see it as a legitimate product, because of the whole picture, the marketing products, you design that box and everything, the packaging for it, that just really looks exceptional, and people really like that as well. So it's great to get the feedback that, what we're doing, what you guys did and what we're doing collectively is resonating well with our customers, future customers, and people who are familiar with the product as well, that have seen the growth. So he definitely took us to not just the next level, but several levels above where we were before I met you guys at the SHOT the first time.
Well, and I was thinking too about some other people I'd like to thank, just because Tara had such a great influence too, even, having the idea between the medical parody, and then all of her work on the social media and some of the website work, our intern, who probably was interested to see what we would actually have her work on. And she did a great job. She stepped it up, and we had some great people, the vendor do the main pitch video, and then we had some other editors, and we just had as a crew, the whole crew worked on it. I was really impressed with all the work everyone put into it. Mo working on the icons, and there's just so much that went into it. It was almost like this project that we obviously still working with you now, but it's just nice to know that, kind of from the get-go, it's great to get you a launching point, if that makes sense.
Very much so. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and I mean, I was going to touch base on that. The best part about having Tara work on the project was she wanted to talk to us originally about web development, and we really helped her out and just threw her into social media instead.
We did. We almost kind of said, "Oh, that's what you want? Well, come over here and help us with," or just like not help, but we were like, I think you should be involved with this, and I don't necessarily think she was super excited about that, but she did a great job on everything that we asked her to do, so that was great.
Oh yeah, no, she started out like a deer in the headlights, and like didn't want to she would just sit there like, I don't want to talk, I don't want to say anything, and by the end of it, she came up with the idea for our primary campaign and ran our did all the responses and content for our social media. She killed it. No, it was a really, really cool project. It was something to where I feel like if more companies knew what Paul went through and knew that there's companies out there that can handle those kind of things, or companies that can help you, like a lot of people would get their things off the ground faster, for sure.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was painful going through it on my own, and it just wasn't. There was no way, especially after I experienced that I was going to get to those levels of those, the huge crowdfunding campaigns that you hear about. And I think, some of the things, if you don't mind, one of the things I should have done better, and that was my responsibility, was the shipping. If we would have had our shipping scored away, which was my responsibility when we started, then we would have had significantly more sales. But it's like I said earlier, it's not all about the sales. We certainly surpassed our goal, and we're continuing. I was telling you guys earlier, just this week alone, we had another $750 in sales from our campaign. Even though our campaign ended, Indiegogo allows you to keep going, and it just this week alone, it hasn't even been a week. Just the last 4 or 5 days, I've had more, 5 or 6 more orders. Ended up being $750, and a couple other people that are probably about to pull the trigger on it as well, because right now with the coronavirus and bathrooms shut down and not people not even wanting to use the public restrooms because they might be dirty and contaminated. There's been a pretty high demand, but I haven't done any more marketing. It's the stuff that you guys did for our campaign that's continuing to roll and reach out to people, and people are finding the product and saying, "Wow, this is the coolest thing ever." I had one truck driver, when he sent me the email, he said, "This was my favorite product of 2020." Hands down the favorite product. And I get it, man, because when you need something like that, then the importance of it, the value of it goes way up. So.
Well, and I think too, you're even making modifications and changes to it and improving the product. And that's where hopefully, we were able to handle the marketing so that you could worry about those things.
Yeah, that was a huge help. It just, I know I already said it, but truly made a world of difference. I'm telling you, if you're struggling on your own and trying to get that done, run a really good campaign. What Tara did was hugely helpful too, because every day she was putting something out there on Facebook, and it wasn't. I don't know. I think a lot of those, well, not just Facebook, but Indiegogo and all the social media. She was constantly posting stuff, so people were seeing it every day, and I was impressed by that. Her creativity, always something new. But I had a lot of comments from people that are like, "Wow, you must really have a huge budget for marketing," and it was, and you guys locked in a person with the right creativity and youthful creativity that was just nailing it every day, and so. That was a key component as well. I think so. I really think it was, because those things are still out there. And when people go to my Facebook page, they scroll down and see all the little things that were posted. And I get likes every day on our Facebook page, and I haven't been keeping up with the posting. So,
well, I think one of the things I'm probably more proud about is the fact that, one, we have a great relationship with you, and it was a great partnership, and it was successful. So it's like, there were so many things there that made it, you were easy to work with. You gave us a lot of trust that was almost needed, and it worked out to a successful product and hopefully a great relationship. So.
Yeah, no, I feel like we came out, we kind of went into a funny situation in a video, and we came out with a really good friend in Paul, and it's been a great experience. It's one of the best relationships that I've encountered as far as professionally in a marketing atmosphere where, you work with people, and, there can be where you're familiar with somebody, and you never really consider them no, that person, I like them a lot. And we love Paul, and we love working on the project, and it was a neat thing. But I'm sure we can go back and forth on this for the next couple hours. And
but I got to tell one story about that. I'm sorry.
You have another. All right, dude.
Talking about great people that genuinely care about their customers, right? So at SHOT Show, I was back at SHOT Show this year with a very, very limited staff, and James and Max show up at our booth, and they start selling and pitching it just as good or better than me to customers. It was awesome. And then last day, Shirley and I wandered off to go get pictures with Chuck Norris. And we're like, should we leave the booth? But it's Chuck. We got to go see Chuck. Come back, and these two guys are manning my booth, selling the InstaPrivy. You just can't get better than that. I was deeply impressed and greatly appreciated, the friendship and help. I can't guarantee people that, you guys are going to man their booths in the future, but these guys just jumped right.
For that disclaimer.
But I appreciate you guys so much. I really do.
Well, ditto.
We love working with you, man. That was one of those things where came up on an empty booth. Paul's not here. Let's sell his stuff. Yeah, it was fun.
And we had already seen Chuck.
We already saw Chuck that day anyways. It wasn't a big deal.
People right behind us was like, how do you know these guys? Where did you meet them? They were really impressed with what quality people you guys are. Good friends.
Well, thanks, Paul. It was we couldn't have done anything without a great product and who you are and what you let us do. So it's a 50-50 thing. So, just as anything that could go to us needs to go to you too, for sure. But yeah, so this is kind of the route that we took with this InstaPrivy campaign. It was successful. We wanted to meet with astronomical success, sure, with any campaign, but we set our goals pretty realistically, and we ended up hitting those. The product comes, it should be shipping, you said, what, in July, Paul?
July, yes.
July. So keep your eyes out for InstaPrivy coming to stores near you, right?
Absolutely. And I'll check us out on InstaPrivy.com, and also our website, created by Murie Design Group, Indiegogo, these guys too, very professional, crowdfunding page. Everything they did on there just looks great. I encourage, anybody who's thinking about it, go check out the product, because it's what they talk to me. They put their creative juices in motion and created some really great social media. And so check it. And they also, Pinterest. What else did you guys do?
Instagram.
Yeah, we had Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. We had a Twitter account. The Twitter wasn't really helpful. We didn't use it as much, just for this specific campaign. Not that Twitter's not helpful, but it just for this instance. And those were our primary.
Videos, we have. I'm telling you guys, the YouTube videos, or the videos that these guys put together. So many of these, like Cheddar and stuff like that. When this was going on, just all these different companies almost daily initially were coming saying, "Hey, can we use your videos? Can we use your videos?" And they had the videos ready. We weren't sure how they were going to get mashed up and used, but having something like that, and that was huge too, because they were taking it, and that was free marketing for us, because you guys had put the effort into the videos and gave them something that they could use to make really creative stuff to share with their viewers that they already have. So, it's a great learning experience for me. And I got to talk to you guys about another product soon.
We're game. We're in.
All right.
I like it. All right. Well, let's sign off here.
Stats.
Do what?
With some of the numbers.
What? I guess I neglected that because it was in the article. Maybe people should just go read our article that we worked so hard on.
That would make sense too.
It's a very good article.
No, we can do that as well. I'm just being really lazy about it, and I should probably. I can read the numbers. I can read.
I'll start with YouTube, and you can do the Facebook ones.
Okay, that'll work. You do the yeah.
So on YouTube, we had quite a few different videos. And they came to a total of 176 and still growing views on our videos, with over 600 thumbs up.
600.
Oh,
that's a big deal.
That's better than thumbs down.
It is better than thumbs down.
I heard that.
With Facebook, we ended up with fairly high engagement, over 500,000 comments, 620,000. There was over 650 shares, 650,000 shares. It sounds a lot better when you add 1,000. Yes. 650,000 shares. And we cataloged in over 110 million views on our videos. And it's funny because James and I were going back and forth on it. We know there was more. We just couldn't verify it through links. We're going with 110 million.
Because that's what we can verify. And it makes sense.
That's what we can verify.
That is a very conservative number, because just in Japan alone, you probably didn't track what's going on in Japan, but there's millions of views over there. I was amazed to be getting calls from Australia, from South Africa, from Saudi Arabia, all around the world. I was getting calls from the Netherlands, Germany. This went everywhere. All the different languages, because these cheddar type companies were picking it up, and You are world famous, Mac, in so many ways, but yeah, I think 110 million is very, very conservative.
I can't wait for you guys' like 50th anniversary and you're playing your toilet commercial. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, that's going to be so great.
Absolutely.
So well, and that's part of the thing, right? Any of the credit that we could take for making, putting flashy covers on anything, it's a good product. Like, you don't get a reaction without a terrific product.
It's the reason we called back too, because the more we thought about the product, the more we we're going, oh, you can use it here. You had it fully patented already. You have a great product. It just needed to get in front of people.
Yeah. So it was a good synergy there for sure. I appreciate that, but I love it when people get it. Understand
Excellent. Well, Paul, we should let you get on with your evening. Let everybody go here. And but yeah, we thank you for your time. Thanks for taking a look at the InstaPrivy story. I think I just lagged out there. My face stalled and I had a face. So anyways, thank you guys. And
thank you. Appreciate it, gentlemen. Have a great night. Great weekend.